this is recording. There we go. We are on. So cool. Yeah. Let's just hop into it. So yeah, thank you so much for joining and taking the time out of your day to chat with me. So really appreciate it.
Sure, no problem. I try to jump in on these, as much as I can. I think it's really good for well, first of all, I like talking, and I like talking to people, and what gets me going is talking about stuff I'm doing. So
Yeah.
But it's also good for transparency and stuff like that. So yeah, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You seem to be doing a lot. That was actually one of the main questions from the community is do you ever sleep? Or the other one was, are you an alien? So
Well, I can neither confirm nor deny. No, I'm pretty sure I'm human.
okay.
So, if I find out otherwise, you guys will be the first to know. But yes, I do sleep. I actually try to get at least well, somewhere between 6 to 8 hours every night. I think sleep's actually really important. As you get older, you start figuring out that it's not that good of an idea to burn that candle on both ends. So
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. So
especially when you've got like your coding and the difference between a 0 and a 9 can break the whole system kind of thing. So
yeah, that's funny. And also for learning, I don't know if people have, eventually all end up noticing this, but I find that like if I'm trying to learn something new, like I'll try to absorb as much as I can one day, and then give it a rest. I end up sleeping on it. The next day I go at it again, and it's just so much easier to absorb. It's like my brain organized it. So I don't know if that's a life hack or it's just the way the brain is supposed to work. So
yeah, no, I've definitely noticed that too. So for sure. And by the way, I forgot to introduce you. So yeah, everybody, this is Sycore. He is the founder and creator and the lead developer of RBX. He's kind of known as a one-man wrecking crew within the community. Definitely does a ton of work and is doing a lot for his project and just crypto at large. So yeah, we're happy to have you. Thanks again for joining us and really appreciate it. So yeah, Sycore, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, kind of how you got into coding, DeFi, and all that fun stuff?
For sure. And again, thanks for having me on here. Thanks for the fantastic intro.
Yes.
So about me, I mean, yeah, I like code. Um, so as all right, as far as like background, I've kind of I have a bit of a varied background, but mostly it focuses on coding and finance, and working with like algorithmic finance and stuff like that. No high frequency trading, but just um, both doing manual trading. I work for a boutique firm, doing futures trading, foreign exchange, and then also coding up algorithms used for trades like that, larger trades. So that's always been kind of like what I've been doing. I've been coding for a long time, actually, since I was a kid. Got a 386 and started working with basic or QBasic really, and then just kind of went from there. But DeFi, I got into DeFi. I've been coding Solidity. I think 2 to 3 years now. I think it's getting to the third year.
Okay. That's the Ethereum code, right? Or the main Ethereum one?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's like the main language right now for DeFi, I guess, in general. And so DeFi has been around for a bit. I would say probably started like around 2016, 2017, I think. But it wasn't as developed, and now it's gotten to the point where there's so many financial primitives and protocols. Basically, the foundation to create on the products that we have in traditional finance, but created on crypto. It's really been great for the space. And because of all this stuff, it's given me the opportunity to create things that I thought well, things that I've wanted to do, from like 10, 15 years ago, but just the infrastructure just wasn't there. So it's been pretty fun. So yeah, that's why I ended up, creating RBX and just being in the space and stuff like that, and trying to add a little bit of stability to the space by trying to, I guess, maintain. I don't know, like,
Yeah.
I try to be as truthful and as fair with people as possible. It's what I do. So
Yeah, definitely. Cool, cool. I like that. So good to know that you've been coding and this is kind of a dream of yours for a long time. That's actually really fun. So I know you're going to be passionate about it. So for those who don't know, also, so RBX is a newer token, but it is a rebrand from Rocket Bunny. So kind of tell us a little bit about Rocket Bunny and RBX, what the difference is, and maybe why you decided to do the rebrand.
yeah, that's a good point there. So yeah, Rocket Bunny was released in February of 2021. So yeah, like 8 months ago or so. And the idea was, so I had been working during the mini crypto winter that we had at that time, just building out products. I say we, it was kind of just me, but I still have that project Colibri, and the idea was to release the products under that brand. But then like that meme phenomena with like the different animal tokens came about, and a buddy of mine, Gilly, was just like, hey, we should take advantage of this trend, right? So we released as Rocket Bunny, and the joke was always like, we are meme leveraged. And then with like within like 3 days, we announced a real product, and then 2 weeks later, we actually released the product. And our focus has always been an actual use case. Like, there's a reason for Rocket Bunny to exist. And then we just kept putting out more products. Unfortunately, because we used that whole meme leverage, we started to realize that at least up until back in May, I started realizing that people were associating the project with just being another meme, and being another meme that is old and there's no reason to even pay attention to it. And people were dismissing the project just, based off the name. I'm like, that's pretty shallow, but that's how people are. So the idea was to rebrand into a more serious brand. I think our debut article was that Rocket Bunny is growing up. So that's what we did. Also, some of the code, so like the original code that Rocket Bunny used was like the first of its kind. So it was the first one that came out with the auto liquidity, the auto yield, the large token counts, dump protection, all that stuff. So it was the first one that got released that way. And then, soon there were others. And I even helped, several projects transition their tokens and stuff like that. And during that time, just I've improved my base code for tokens and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, I'm out here fixing up all these other people's tokens, and we're kind of stuck with the old code. So we redid the tokenomics, something fresh. We eliminated all the transaction fees and stuff, and RBX, the whole point of it is to increase its velocity, right? So like, anybody knows what the velocity of money is in a closed system. It's how much it gets transferred, to and fro. We want people to feel comfortable using their tokens and not, make it a cost benefit analysis on whether they want to stake their tokens and get hit with a fee, that sort of stuff. So yeah, just overall making the whole thing easier to use and more serious, just because of what we're taking on and the kind of roadmap that we've got planned out. So yeah.
Sweet. I like it. And for anybody who's trying to transfer their old Bunny tokens to the new RBX token, check out the Telegram group. There is instructions in there. There's also a tech support Telegram. I'll link both of those below, and you guys can go and get the answers that you need there, but they're very transparent. You will be able to move your bunny over into RBX, so it's not a dead token. So we got that. That's good. And so kind of, I guess, what are the main features? So we're talking about RBX now and some of, what it does, but what are the main features that it does? Kind of explain, what you're excited about.
Yeah. So RBX, and this is all on our site. So like if I miss something, it's all on there. But one of the main things is that there are no transaction fees. So I was pretty excited about that. I think a lot of people were as well. With Bunny before there was actually no way for me to whitelist any contracts or anything like that. So like there was just, if you were going to stake your tokens, you were going to get hit with that 4% transaction fee. And then when you unstake, there was another 4%. So like we had to make sure that the staking pools, had a good APY to make up for all that. So that's probably like at least for me, the most exciting part. And I think for a lot of folks as well. But the one of the main features, I would say, is the snapshotting of the balances, and it's already built into the token itself. And this is information that's already on the blockchain, but the token makes it really easy for us to use that data for other types of products. So like we can open up staking pools for anybody that's been holding for 30 days or 6 months, long-term holders, that sort of stuff. So that's pretty exciting. But I mean, the token it's more of like it's fuel for the ecosystem. It's actually one of the things we write on the site. RBX it's the token that you're going to need to use the different products that we have. And right now, the biggest one we've got is Rocket Drop, which is our staking pools, and then RBX Change. We recently changed the name. It was Pocket Swap before, but it's our DEX. And the DEX, you can trade right now effortlessly across 12 different blockchains. They're all EVM chains. So that's pretty cool, I think. I don't think that there's many out there that do that. And then the token itself it's a multi-chain token. So right now it's both on Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain, and we have a bridge where you can move the token to and fro. And what that does is that it helps maintain the price peg between the two chains. And we're going to have the same thing. We're targeting AVAX, Matic, and I think Arbitrum next. We're kind of trying to figure that out. But yeah, RBX is fuel, and the products that we're putting out is it feeds into RBX. So that's kind of like the main thing. Yeah.
Gotcha. And so you said there was staking. So can people go stake right now?
Right now, no. So because we were revamping the staking UI, we also updated the Rocket Drop contracts to allow more features, really. We kind of like held off on signing up more projects, but we kind of have like a queue right now of people that want to open up staking. And then on top of that, you'll be able to stake your RBX tokens and liquidity tokens. That's built into the idea for this. So for the first year, we're actually going to have a staking pool for liquidity providers, and it's going to be a nice and healthy APY. So before you got like automatic yield, right? So like anytime there were trades and stuff like that, you got a little bit of yield. You didn't have to stake it. The problem with that is that it's volume dependent. So like on slower days, you don't get as much. On higher days, you get a lot. And, we wanted to kind of stabilize that. So what we did was set aside a portion of the new supply to basically reward holders and stakers and stuff like that. So you stake your tokens, you stake your liquidity tokens, and then you get RBX tokens. But there's no inflation. It's a set amount. We're only really doing it for like the first year and a half, depending on, how popular it is. But once that amount set aside is gone. It's like, that's it, it's gone. And then the staking pools will kind of just recharge based off of the revenue that gets generated in the ecosystem, redemptions and stuff like that. And that's how it'll keep going. So I guess kind of subsidized for a year. Then after that, it should be fine, I think.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So can we get a teaser on what the APY is going to be for people who stake early, or not quite ready for that?
Well, it's gonna be a solid APY. It's not. So I'm really glad about this because since the beginning, as I was helping out projects and opening up staking pools for them, like literally one of the weirdest parts about this was I would say, yeah, you kind of want to have at least an APY of 1,000%, or else people are not interested. And I'm glad that people finally realize that that's not sustainable. So
Yeah, none of those last very long.
No, they don't, but it was just the only way you could do it. And so you had to like do a little bit of financial engineering to make it work. So I think like the expectation is that that's not what you're going to get. So it's going to be somewhere in the 20 to 50%, 75% APY or APR range. So something that's good, some place you can park your money, and get some yield without worrying about the price of the token just getting completely obliterated. Yeah.
Right. Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. That's definitely good. I know exactly what you're talking about. We had all those earlier. I mean, probably about a year ago when the DeFi craze came up, it was just, you'd see absurd numbers of 10,000% APY. It's like, what the heck? I don't see those tokens around anymore. So
nope.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's good. And so with the bridge that you have too, so is the way it's going to work is you can, maybe if you're on Binance and you want to, trade it to, like, how would you be able to trade that directly to Ethereum, or like, would you have to swap it on Binance for RBX and then bridge it over, and then kind of like, how exactly is it going to be like fully cross chain like that, to where you just, I want this one on this network, or I have this one on Binance and I want this one on Polygon. So
yeah.
Really?
So yeah. So let me kind of go over that part. So the bridge it's right now we're in phase 0.5, which is being able to bridge RBX across chains. So right now it's in beta. I have a limit on it. It's 10,000 tokens per transaction. It was kind of like to slow it down, make sure everything's running smooth and stuff like that. Then phase 1 is being able to move base tokens, so like native currencies like Ether, BNB, Matic, stuff like that, and just swap them between the chains. So that's phase 1. That's going to be out shortly.
Awesome.
Phase 2, which is not really that far off, probably in the next month or so, it'll be at that point where, yeah, you can be on Ether, you can swap. Let's say you want to sell some RBX, you can sell RBX for a token on KuCoin chain, for example, and it'll just handle it all for you. Yeah. It's pretty cool. We use a little bit of like tech magic in the background. And then we also create opportunities for people to provide liquidity on both chains. For example, they can, add that token on KuCoin and then add RBX on Ether, and they can generate fees and stuff like that. The idea is to promote that so that it decentralizes as much as possible, to reduce points of failures, but at the same time, we'll fill in the gaps for any swapping pair that may not have sufficient liquidity and stuff like that. So yeah,
Gotcha.
It's made pretty easy and pretty fun to use.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've used it a couple of times on Binance and Ethereum also. And just there's a video I made. I'll post it right here. I'll do one of those little things. You can check it out right here, or maybe down here. I don't know where somewhere it'll pop up. But it's the fees. I mean, I already tested it versus Uniswap, and they come back. Today the fees were crazy. I wonder how it would be. When I did the test, the fees were low. The gas cost was low, and it was still saving about anywhere from like $8 to $15 per transaction. So today, I was doing some transactions. They were coming like $80 to $90 a transaction. Wonder how much those would have been on Uniswap though. Do you save more as it gets bigger? Is it just kind of depend because you look at all the different networks kind of thing?
Yeah, it is depend, like the main cost here really is working on Ethereum, as we all know. So like the faster you can get out of Ethereum and into one of the other dozen chains that there are, the more money you're going to save. Unfortunately, a lot of the volume is still, and a lot of the money is still on the main net. And actually, not unfortunately, that's just, I mean, I guess that's a good thing or whatever, it doesn't matter. But so hopefully Arbitrum picks up enough, so that we don't worry too much about that. But yeah, unfortunately, if you're going to be trading on Ethereum mainnet, you're still going to have to get stuck with those gas costs. But once you get out of that, like the idea here is that because it's cross chain, instead of having to bridge over to the chain and then swap to a token and then begin trading, you can just go to RBX, and you can just start directly. You can just like you have Ether, you want that token that's on Matic, just buy it, directly, and then you can just continue trading that way.
Yeah, nice. That's actually super cool. And then it'll go directly to your Matic wallet. So you connect it to MetaMask, and then so it'll be on one wallet, right? And then do you have to plug in the address, or just it knows what your Polygon address is going to be?
Yeah, the great thing about these things is that everything except I think Cello, I think that's the one. The same address that you have on Ether is the same as on BSC, Matic,
okay, perfect. That
KuCoin.
makes sense.
Yeah, so it just makes life so much easier.
Well, I got you. That makes sense. We'll just switch wallets and it'll be there. Cool. And so is this your own blockchain kind of that you've built on the back end to run all of this also, or
So
like not blockchain, but network?
yeah, so right now we're using a network of, well, it's not really, yeah, I mean they're hosted relayers is what they're called. Well, just relayers, and what that is, it's a secured system that monitors the transactions and then detects when there's like a bridge necessary, and then it pushes out the transaction on the other network. Unfortunately, that's really some version of that is the only way to do it. But because this is just like our initial, this is just, so it's just that phase 0.5.
Right.
Once we get to phase 2, where there's actually a protocol called NXTP. It's designed by Connext, and it's really smart, like what they did. So they made it really, really simple to use, from a coding perspective. And what it does is that it decentralizes the relayers, right? So anybody can host a relayer and earn a little bit of fees, right? So there's an incentive there. And then at the same time, there isn't just one potential, like one party controlling whether the relaying and the bridging works. So that's where we're moving to very quickly. Actually, we're working on that now because I really don't like to have just that, central relayer. And it's going to be a lot better, as far as stability and stuff like that. So
Cool.
I guess we are kind of building a network, but not a blockchain.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's a little bit over my head, some of that stuff. I can kind of understand how it works, but you definitely know what you're talking about, and it sounds legit. So,
good enough.
so that's that. And then, so one of the things I like a lot, I'm a big into marketing and partnerships. I mean, that's kind of where my expertise just comes together with the best, stuff. I really like this widget functionality. I don't know if I've seen anything with that, and what that, and I'll let you explain it in a second. But to me, that just seems like for example, I'm big on whatever DogeGF. Not trying to shill it or anything, but I even reached out to the admins. They're building a new website. I was like, hey guys, like you need to put this on your website. So essentially, like that's going to be able to allow anybody who has their token on any of these networks to put a code, like a code where they can just literally swap it on their page. They don't have to log into Uniswap or move over or anything. They can literally have it on their website.
Yes, it's really exciting. Actually, it's already, it's ready. I just haven't done the usual QA and stuff, but It's just a piece of, so if you have a website, you have a project, all these projects, they have a link and it says buy now, and then it takes them to Uniswap and all that stuff. Well, with the widget, yeah, they just put that piece of code on their site, and then now people can trade directly from their site without having to leave, all their branded site and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, and then once, I mean, we have an on ramp as well. Right now we're using ramp network, so there's certain limits, and after a certain point you do have to do some KYC. But we've got our non-KYC ramp. That's going to be okay. Actually, I've been told by everybody in the team to not call it that. So it's a peer-to-peer on ramp, right? It's the decentralized person-to-person on ramp.
Wow. So you can like
yeah.
buy cash or like, yeah, basically trade cash essentially for crypto to other
Yeah,
people.
you'll be able to buy, initially like Ether, BNB, Matic, using like Cash App, Venmo, Chime, stuff like that. You could do cash, and but we're not automating that part. And do Western Union, bank transfers, stuff like that. So it's going to really, you'll be able to use PayPal, so you can use credit cards as well. So it's going to really, really, really reduce the friction for newcomers to get into crypto, which I think is pretty good.
That's huge. Yeah, I'm trying to, one of my buddies, I just got into it, and he's got a lot of money. And his biggest issue, I mean, his bank's not approving transactions, or he can only do $500 limits or something like that. So having something, and especially if it's peer-to-peer, we'll just use that term, then I think that's going to be huge. I mean, I know a ton of people, like another guy who he owns a bar. He goes to the Bitcoin ATM all the time, and because he doesn't want to get taxed or whatever. So and that's how he kind of does everything. But it's a huge pain in the butt. He'll take, and it's in the hood where he goes, and so he's always got to take someone with him and like a security guard. And so, well, whatever, you don't want to pay taxes that much. So that's going to be huge. A ton of people are going to like that. So good job there.
Thanks.
And then the last thing, really, I just wanted to talk about the marketing. So what do you plan to do to get the word out? I mean, this is an awesome project. I mean, I've looked up a lot of DeFi projects. This has some of the best tools, hands down. So like, what are you going to do to get the word out and make sure people know about it? And if, they invest, they know that it's going to keep growing.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah, one of our biggest issues has always been like marketing. Like we build these tools, and then we see it can be kind of disheartening when you see other projects that have absolutely zero utility, reaching these like vertigo inducing market caps. And you're like, man, I gotta get better at this. So
Yeah,
we partnered up with MXS, and what they are the tits, I gotta say. And it's not just because we're working with them. We'd been keeping an eye on them for a bit, and they've just worked up a fantastic reputation for being able to help projects. And like everybody, I think, that has gotten into DeFi, they've you might start with meme tokens and stuff like that. They've moved away from that and are gravitating towards more serious projects. And we spoke with them, and we saw eye to eye with what we all wanted to do, and they're very, very professional. And they've like really revamped their internal, I guess you could say, corporate structure, but their organizational structure on how to motivate all their peeps. And we're like super excited to work with them. They worked with Shib like during that time to get Shib going. They've worked on about 30 different projects, and I mean, it happened with us. We finally officially announced that we were working with them after, figuring out the details and stuff. And it already, the price already started going up because people know how well these people work. So we're working with them over the next few months or a couple months, and trying we have we have a partnership with them, and I can't reveal too many details, but we're very excited, and I think people are going to be very excited about it. Let's just say that. So
Cool.
I'm thinking that that's going to be our solution for this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I listened to the AMA that you had with their founders, which I'll post that link maybe up here or down in the description. I'll probably try to do it here. I don't know if I can do that if it's not my video, but it'll be down in the description. You can definitely learn about a lot about their strategy. They basically they have, from what I understand, they have a big marketing team of designers, which designers are very hard to find, of designers and content creators, and then also like a whole Twitter army and Facebook army of all these people that will take that content and then just shill it out to the masses. So they've got shillers and content creators that basically just help push memes out and things that people, to get excited about stuff. That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, they've got, at last count, if I heard right, it's about 1,400 people in
Wow.
total. Like, yeah, they've got a core team, I think of about 30 to 50. And then, like, I don't know if there's subsidiaries or like associates or something. Like the way that they have figured this out, it's pretty cool. So yeah, they've got quite a few people.
Awesome. Yeah, that's sweet. And do you have any idea when the timeline is for them to get started, or is that a secret?
Well, so I like secrets.
Yeah.
So they're in the middle of launching their own token, which ties into how their organization is designed and built. They're going to be releasing that pretty soon. I think over the next, I don't know. I can't really, like, I just don't know. I'm assuming over the next week or so.
Okay.
Once
So
they
coming up.
settle, I think it's about a week and a half is what I'm guessing based off of what they've been releasing. So they're just trying to make sure everything's right for their launch, so that they don't, have any hiccups or anything like that. And then after that, about, some time after that, then they'll go full force. But we've already been kind of working. It's not like we're just sitting, I guess.
Sure. Getting the ducks
We're
lined
still
up.
working. Yeah, we're getting all the info to them, and working in the background as well. So we're not wasting time and all that good
Sweet.
stuff. Yeah.
I know you guys are very, very busy. Got a great team. I love how you are so active in the communities. I mean, sometimes you'll post a question in the Telegram, and Sycore will respond himself. But they've got really active admins. The whole tech support page has been fantastic. So I love it. I'm super pumped for you and everybody who's invested. And thank you for all your hard work. Is there anything else you want to say before we sign off?
Just thanks, everybody that's, been with us and stuff. And I do appreciate everybody that has stuck around through thick and thin. Just real heartfelt thanks. I like that I've made so many friends because of this project, and there's people that have been here for 8 months straight, still hanging out with me and the team and stuff. So it's
nice. Very good.
Yeah.
Yes, very strong community. People absolutely love this project. So I've been in a lot of telegrams with a lot of groups, and this is definitely one of the stronger groups and very active. So yeah, you're in good hands with this investment in this community, everybody. So it has my full blessing. So great. Well, thank you once again, Sycore. I really appreciate it. I'll let you get back to all the stuff you got to do to build all this crazy stuff for everybody and change the DeFi game.
For sure, man. Thanks so much again, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You too. Hopefully, look forward to getting to know you a little more.
Yeah, same. Let's do this again.
Definitely.
All right.
All right. You take care.
Man.
Have a good one.
You too, man. Bye.